Right.
Professor, I had a question.
Sure.
Okay, so for the activity two, where do we turn that in? Should we just email that to you if we didn't do the individual assignment, if we did the group assignment?
It's the same. There's a Dropbox in the
Oh,
assignment.
okay.
That lets you do.
Is it the same one as assignment or as the individual assignment, or is it a different one?
But it's a different one. It's in the
Okay.
course content. So the same place that you've downloaded the assignment sheet, there is a Dropbox.
Okay, I'll look.
Yeah. It is, if I'm not mistaken, beneath the underneath the so it's course content. Yeah, you have to scroll down all the way down. So it's content analysis exercise. Yeah,
And is it due on Sunday, I saw on Blackboard, or is it due tonight?
it's due tonight. If you're doing assignment two, it's due on Sunday.
Oh, okay, okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's the all right. Um,
And professors, the discussion board due tonight as well, or
you have until the end of the week actually. You can do it in the weekend. In the weekend, yeah. Okay. Okay. So hello. Okay. Um, let me share. What did you share? Mm, right. Okay. So hello again. So today is actually lectures. We're going to continue from where I left on Wednesday. So there's not a long lecture, very short actually, but you're going to have more time to practice content analysis. I think some people told me that they enjoyed it, so we'll do more of it and I'm going to talk about assignment two as well. So I have like 15 minutes, hopefully 15 minutes at the end, where I can discuss assignment two in more details. In more detail. So now after doing, like, if you were here on Wednesday or watched it, or even if you've done the readings, uh, the question is, does it? How is it useful? I mean, the method of content analysis, and I think you could see how it's useful. So if you're analyzing um, pieces of content of promotional materials or social media posts, right? So you're analyzing a Twitter account, an Instagram account, a Facebook account, you name it. And then you compare that to the engagement metrics, that is to say, likes, shares, retweets, clicks, blah, blah, blah. You can then figure out a better content strategy. Uh, how are you? Why is that? How are you going to do it explicitly? So now we analyze the content like according to 4, 5, 6 categories. How is it going to be useful for us to develop our content strategy, assuming we are a donut store? What should we look at?
click-through rate. I don't know if that's CPMs.
Yeah, it's CTR. It's yeah. So yeah, so you're looking at the click-through rates, and so how would you know which content is more useful in generating click-through rates? So my question
Like
is,
the content that's like liked and
yes,
shared, more engagement.
yeah, and then in that content you're referring to like single tweets or like categories of tweets.
I think it would be more like a category of tweets.
Right, right. So the question is, so yeah, we might see, for example, so let's say we have 1,000 tweets. We produce 1,000 tweets, let's say, in one season, right? Some tweets I see, okay, they have hundreds of likes and click-through rates, so people clicking on the link are high. What does that tell me? I don't know, right? Like it just worked out, like we posted at the right time. People were just on Twitter that day. Those are all possibilities, right? But how would you know, like, okay, this cluster of tweets, this is what defined them, and this is what made them more appealing? You are going to do that when you do content analysis. Like here are like the different types of tweets we post. And so let's try to maximize the type of tweets that generate whatever metric you're using, click-through rates, likes, shares, comments, conversion rate, which are purchases, etc., etc. And so this is the most common use of content analysis when it comes to practice. Um, Usually, you will do it either if you're working within. So if you're, I'm not sure if like Sidecar Donuts had like a social media specialist per se, but if they wanted to do it correctly or more valuably, they should strategize about that. You know, let's look at what type of tweets do we post, and of course, you add other things, right? So like the time, did they post it during daytime or nighttime, weekends, weekdays, of course. So you look into that as well. Most importantly, if you have, yeah, like when we talk about, for example, when you give like a special promotion, how is that different than when we talk about the store as a whole, right? Do we see differences in people's engagement? So that's a big one. You can do it for the client itself, or you can do it even if you want basically to cheat. That is to say, you look at the competitors and see what type of posts generate the highest level of engagement. And that's can be done. Like I know people would say, okay, just look at one Twitter account and see what's happening. But content analysis is a systematic way of looking to it, right? You see, like it's like you would look into a full list, like a large sample, and then we're not looking into one, two, four, five tweets sporadically, but we systemize it in a way so we can make comparison between different variables, right? So the variable of the content type and the variable of engagement or the variable of click-through rate, etc. So that's what we call analytics, and it's a field of its own. There is also another use of content analysis, and that is to assess general sentiment. So suppose you want to understand public opinion, like you want to explore some social trends, you want to understand, for example, the habits of people. So what do young people do nowadays? Or like how are people talking about school? Or like how are people talking about the stock market? There are multiple studies, both in academia and in the professional world, that's looking into that. So can I guess, for example, which stock price would go up if I analyze the content on like the Reddit rooms around stocks or like people talking about stocks on Twitter, right? there are ways, because then you have an open large data set, and then you see which, for example, stock options they are discussing and how they associate with like negative words or positive words, right? What are people predicting? And so that's like one example, right? Another example is one of the optional reading I added, which is to look into psychological sentiment, right? Uh, so if you analyze the open Twitter post about depression or about suicide, right? You can look into the specific themes that users evoke when you talk about suicide. So what do they associate suicide with in terms of the causes? Like, you see the word suicide appearing when someone is talking about breaking up, or like losing like a job, or losing a significant other, or a beloved one. Those type of things could also be used by public health professionals, so they can assess like some psychological symptoms even without meeting any specific person, right? So that's another use of it's called sentiment analysis, by the way. Right? Uh, Question for you, and feel free to answer me in the chat. Can a brand or a store knows if its product being perceived positively or negatively via content analysis? What do you think? Can you do content analysis on social media if you want to know you're successful or not? Okay. Right. So yeah, you see how people are talking about a product on different platforms, right? So how can we categorize what people are saying regarding the product? So yeah, assuming they're talking about, I don't know, the new latte flavor. So they are either like, which two categories you might think of? You want to see people are talking, if you're looking at what people are saying about the product. Do you think of two simple categories? People reviews about the product. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that's basic. Yeah, positive, negative. Yeah, that's easy, right? But yeah, and you don't have to like read something very deeply. Like, are they saying a good thing or a bad thing about it? So let's say positive, negative, neutral, maybe. Well, so that's something. It's also used. It's called sentiment analysis of social conversations, or also called social monitoring. And there are many social monitoring tools. If you end up working in a good agency, they have pretty much good tools with AI, so they could do the sentiment analysis for you. Although it depends on how good the AI is. So it can assess. So it's easy to see, like, you just type in what the word is of the product. And so the AI can just grab the tweets or posts that are talking about it. That's easy. But can it assess if it's positive or negative? Actually, right now, some AI programs are pretty good. Like, you get an accuracy rate like north of 91, 92, like 90-ish, which is remarkable, right? And you can content, and it can content analyze hundreds and thousands of tweets in a second. It can also predict like cinematic and like an artistic like work. So you want to know, so you look at the most 10 popular movies every single month, or like the 10 most popular shows on Netflix or streaming services in general every month or every day even. Then if we categorize them, can we detect which type of content is more popular? Right? So yeah, let's say I have 200 films, then I have 3 categories, and then I can then compare the popularities of each category, right? So that's then can allow me to predict which movies or like shows could succeed or not. And I can dig deeper, look into like specific components. So if the lead, so films with in which the lead actor is like a female, like a lead actress, or like they have like a diverse cast, or it's set in a foreign location, you can cluster the different movies in different like groups and then compare the engagement, right? And Netflix does that very perfectly. They have, by the way, hundreds of variables, not only positive and negative. They have hundreds of variables with different levels, and they can then do like a cluster of what works where. So that's another use. So yeah, this is we pretty much talked about this. And so this is I said before, like content analysis is mostly exploratory, but it can be explanatory as well if we apply it to in like social media analytics. Why would it be considered explanatory though? So if we apply content analytics to see how the content affect likes and shares and comments, why would it be considered explanatory? Ideas?
Would it be because you're having to explain why certain posts are generating more likes and clicks than others?
Yes, Lisa. Yes, that's exactly right. Because you can now explain why a post is more popular. So you're not pointing out like, hey, that video we posted on February 13th generated the highest amount of likes. We could explain the factor, like in the content of that video itself, that it's associated with higher likes, right? Because you're looking then at a full category. So that whole category in comparison to other categories is actually generating a lot more likes on average, right? So that's an explanatory power. Remember when we said explanatory, so exploratory is just describing something. So this post had that number of likes. It's just exploratory. Explanatory, the this post, the posts that share this common characteristic is more likely to have a larger number of likes. That's you explain the reason or the factor that led to the likability. Right? So there's a relationship. And finally, this is also this is an example of a thematic analysis. And this one was like applied onto Twitter. I think it's an interesting article. I'm not going to it's not required, but you can see like if you're looking into like so the author looks into the hashtag depression on Twitter, and then just inductively came up with like a few themes that are associated with words about depression. So like dysfunctional thoughts, lifestyle challenges, social struggles, hiding behind a mask, like pretending to be someone else in front of others. So they found like certain traits that are associated with depression. Why would this be useful at all from a societal point of view? How can this be useful?
I think it could be useful like in a number of ways. One maybe being like it can be taught to like therapists and other professionals who work with patients who have depression, and they could implement and like ask these questions when they're doing like general analysis of their patient. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Think about the potential for like therapists, so they would understand what the people are like suffer from without the need to meet anyone, right? Because people are putting their thoughts out there. So you could develop, like Sherrod was saying, some questions that could assess like how deep those problems is in like in the people and in the patients you meet. And also think like about like school advisors, academic advisors, professors. Like we could apply this in different contexts or setting. If we could content analyze what people like what students are complaining about, let's say not even like depression in a clinical sense, but just like boredom or like anxiety, things like that. That can make us like look at the causes of anxiety in some sense, and then apply some changes maybe in reaction. And so you can think of like different uses for public health. Think like either like at a small scale, so like a school or a school board, or even a larger scale, like a city, state, or like a federal level. So that's as for the lecture goes. So now we're going to practice again uh, for the content. So we're doing. So if you were here, so I assume. So yeah, many of you were here on Wednesday. So now we're going to do it again, but differently, because now we have uh, actual categories with definitions. All right. So you're going to use predefined categories and apply them to the post, right? So you would have a table of like defined categories to work off, okay? But here's the thing. You need then to agree. So if you were here, you need to agree on every single line. Okay? So you would go over the tweets line by line, and you have to resolve disagreements between people in the group, like among the people in the group. Okay, and so you go in a team again. You you do a portion. If you're done, then just come back together and compare. But at least all of you needs to start with the portion and then come and do the like a full list of tweets. Based on the disagreements that you might find, try to re-clarify the definitions of the categories, because the categories would have a general definition, but then you would need like if you see disagreements, that means the definitions were not clear enough. So based on what disagreements you see, like you would assess what sort of confusion was, and go back and clarify that in the definition, but like add an extra example or clarification. That point clear? Yeah, you see if you disagree, and then what source of disagreement, and then clarify that in the definition. And then yeah, we come back and yeah, we discuss. So here are two categorizations. So some work. So it's these two are similar but slightly different. So in the scheme A, we have special promos, general brand promotions, announcements, and civic engagement, right? And you can see the definition in here. In category B, we have public relations, regular menu items, limited time offering, and business information. They are about the same. They're like slight differences. So whichever one you use, it's fine. Just pick one and like you could copy it, right? And then yeah, apply it to the same. We're using the same spreadsheet, okay? Yeah. So do you have any questions before you go into groups?
Is
Yeah,
this
adequate. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, right? Is this the same thing we did last class on Wednesday?
Yeah. It's the same spreadsheet, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But I want you to go over. So if you have it, so you, Lisa or others, if you have it done, then just skip to the part where you compare the results and resolve disagreements and reclarify the definitions, right? So if you've done the first 3 steps, yeah, then just
Okay, thank you.
So, Professor, this is just for clarification as well. This assignment is due tonight, or is this replaces exercise number 2 if we complete it, correct?
yeah. And by
So
tonight it's midnight.
okay, so this one is due by midnight on exercise 2. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so we like our group created our own like content categories to group our tweets. Do you want us to use like this like preset this preset coding type of thing, or should we just stick with ours?
Is yours different or like just slightly different, but like let's say about the same thing?
Yeah, it's like almost we kind of combined like announcements and like general brand promotion into
Okay.
into like in just in the informational category, and then we have promotions, and I think our last one is like I think like
Satire.
satire. Yeah, so like
Okay.
a cliche way of branding. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then do that. It will be interesting to compare how each group arrived into a specific category. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So here's how I'm going to do it. Just give me a second. Let me send you. I'll share the screen. So you have open rooms, so you can just if you worked together before, you can just rejoin one room, and then the others I will assign to whichever slots are left. You see the rooms?
Yeah, I'm just texting some like the people I'm working with to see which room to go.
Okay.
Wait, how do you join the rooms?
You should see pop up, and you can choose a room
At the bottom,
Okay.
thing that says
at the
Oh.
bottom.
rooms.
You see where it says breakout groups? At the
Yeah,
bottom.
mine doesn't have it right now. I don't know why. Because usually it
Yeah.
says like join breakout room. Yeah, my icon isn't there.
I don't have it either.
Okay.
I think there was an update, like you can create your own room or something like that, but like some people do have it and then some people don't.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, I see some people are already joined.
But
So
like
Glenn,
oh, sorry about
so
that.
yeah, Ray. Okay, Ray, do you remember? So I'm going to assign you to room 1. And do you
Yeah,
remember?
I had Kelly and Jay in my group.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember. So my memory is correct. Yeah. So okay.
If I wasn't here on Wednesday, should I just join any group?
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to ask for people who weren't here. Like, yeah, I could assign you to.
Professor, are you just sharing the room with us? Because I don't think mine has that at the bottom.
Yeah. Sure.
I think my group is in room 4. If there's any way you could share that with me, that'd be great.
Yeah. You should be in room 4 now. You see the
Professor.
message? Yes, Scott.
So is it, the group, I think the group, you said the group project's due tonight, but activity number 2 is due Sunday night. Is it
Yeah.
either or? So do you get to
It's
pick
either
either
or.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, I wasn't here Wednesday. I was here Monday, and so, oh, okay. I just see a group. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you can take a you can just take it as in class activity and like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So Sarah, you should see the message.
I'm not seeing anything.
Are you on full screen?
Yes.
So could you go out of full screen? Because yeah, I know it's annoying. The messages sometimes like because Zoom would have different windows and you don't know.
I still don't see it. Is it the regular message that pops up when it says like join breakout room?
Yeah, if you click on more, you should see a pop-up thing even. So click on more and then see where breakout rooms are.
Okay. Well, the bottom of my screen, all it says is like participants, chat, share screen, record, and reactions. And then I click on
There's
participants.
no like more.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me try again. So I'm going to move you to, so please check like on the bottom if something will pop up right now.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't know why it would be just mine.
Can you, okay, are you using a Mac or Windows?
Mac.
So right click on the Zoom icon, the room icon at the bottom, and then show all windows. Like right click and show all windows.
It's just showing
And
screen. It's not. Yeah, it's just showing the screen. It's not showing the invite or anything.
Can you click then on the chat? Yeah, you should.
Maybe, do you want me to share my screen with you so you could see?
Yeah, sure. Santiago, are you here? Okay, now go to Zoom.
I know, I don't get back. I don't know why it's not.
So you're in Zoom, right?
Yeah, I don't know why it's like minimizing it.
To click on it again. Did you share the desktop?
Pardon?
Have you shared the desktop or Zoom? Because those are different.
I'm just gonna unshare because I don't know why it's doing this. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's like nothing popping up for me. I've like it's never been a problem for me to join breakout room before, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. Yeah, I've sent you the invite again.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why it's being so finicky.
Can you yeah, you should see it. Do you see something in the chat? So I'm going to send you a message, okay?
Okay.
So to Sarah, I'll just say hi.
Okay, I just saw that.
So it popped up from the bottom. Then you go to the chat and then okay, so you could see that. Could you check if there's like a different, like a window hidden somewhere? Try to move things around on your desktop.
Yeah, I mean, I did the show all windows and it's just coming up as this. Like there's nothing else open on my laptop.
Okay, can you try to leave the meeting and come back?
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Hopefully this works. All it says that's
All right.
on my thing is that the host has opened breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned. That's the only thing that's
Okay,
changed.
so now, okay, I'm assigning you to room 4.
Okay, I just got it.
Okay, so yeah.
Thank you.